Welcome to this special show on NDTV Profit, where we are meeting with Dr. C.K. Narayan, a man who has over 40 plus years of experience in the stock market and who has seen ups and downs. He is known as the father of technical analysis in India and has also received a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Bombay Stock Exchange for his contribution to the stock markets. So we just want to welcome Dr. Narayan here, and we want to understand more about his investment philosophy and also about NeoTrader, the software that he has brought to this market in a mission to educate and empower users. Dr. Narayan, welcome to this special by NDTV Profit on trading strategies. You have over 40 years of experience in the stock market. You are considered the father of technical analysis in India. Now, over these decades, what are some of the changes that you've witnessed? And I want to start out by asking, what would you say are some of the key ingredients for sustained success in trading?
Well, that's a multi-part question. So I'll start with the part one. What are the key changes? And we'll have to take it chronologically. So I would say sometime around 19 in the mid 90s when everything changed from open outcry to online trading. So the online system of trading is what changed the whole scenario to enable trading as such, because the tremendous amount of lack of efficiency from placing the order to getting it executed and to receiving confirmation, that used to take a tremendous amount of time way back in the trading ring days. I know that because I was part of the trading ring. That changed considerably when the after 1994, when online trading was enabled, and particularly when NSE joined the game in 1995. And at that point of time, at beginning of NSE, it used to be called two stock or three stock exchange, because the only stock that would trade the entire day at that time would be Tata Steel and Reliance, and there was hardly anything else traded. And so people were going gung ho with trading on Reliance and Tata Steel on the NSE, and this went on for quite some time. So a shift from the way stocks were traded to how they were traded in 95, I think that was one. If you fast forward, then I would think 2003 would be the next significant, the great big leap forward. That would be when the FIs came in very aggressively. Though the FIs did enter from somewhere around 1993 onwards, so I think there was a bit of a lull period between 97 through 2002. 2003, the entire world turned into a big bull market, and India was no exception. And very active roles played by domestic institution as well as foreign institution. They just exploded the market to a much larger size, right? And we had had a hint of how such explosive moves could occur during the Harshad Mehta time, because the Sensex, which until then had never gone above something like 500 or 600. I think June of 1984, we had a market peak when the Sensex hit about 650. And then during Harshad Mehta's time, it vaulted to something like 4,500. So that gave us a hint of what could be possible when the markets change. And that we saw for sure from 2003. And then ever since 2003 came, I think the markets have been in a complete run of expansion. The 2008 fall notwithstanding, the 2020 decline notwithstanding, I think markets even up till today are into a complete phase of expansion. So that started from 2003. Then if you come along somewhere around 2015-16, I think that was another big change when options, which were already introduced way back, but then what happened was the cost of trading options went down significantly when we moved from costing it on the notional basis to costing it based on the premium. Now, that meant that trading costs in options just dropped by, let's say, 90%. And that gave a huge boost to trading. And from then on, the option markets have moved up by leaps and bounds. And you had, I think, a 10x increase in volumes. And then on top of the 10x, it doubled again and doubled again in another 1 year. So there has been an extraordinary change that has come about in the market. And of course, to 2020 would be a major paradigm reset when the type of players who came into the market, the kind of funding which came along with it, and along with it, this move towards technology driven elements in all areas of our life, particularly in the market. I think so. I would draw distinct faces like this in the market mid 90s, early 2000, and the shift to option mid 2010 to 20, and then the paradigm shift for our entire lives in 2020. I think these are the ones which have really had significant changes in the market also. And there was a part two question you asked. Can you just
Yeah.
refresh that?
So I know, sir, thank you for taking us through this incredible journey. Brings back a lot of memories for me to having spent about 20 years as a business journalist. But, I wanted to come to NeoTrader. In fact, the reason I asked you that first question was to really understand a little bit about a NeoTrader and why you really started it. So the question was, the second part was, what would you say are some of the key ingredients for sustained success in trading? Are they the same back then and today?
Well, see, market is an evolving place, so there is undoubtedly a necessity for people to keep reinventing themselves. But at the core of it, whether you're trading, whether you're investing, you're actually doing a business. You're not here to pass the time or while it away or have a gala time while you're at it as a hobby or a pastime. So you have to treat it as a business, and you got to bring business principles into it. So at the very least, you must know your turf, which is the markets and the elements in the markets. Second is you should know uh, various things about the products which are there as a part of the market. So know your equities, know your futures, know your options, know that the variables of each of those business. And you're here in a business to make money, so you're here in the markets also to make money. So there is a certain process which is required to make money in a business, and it is the same with the market. You do your things right, you follow your processes, you don't deviate from them, too often, and except in wherever it is being indicated on an emergency basis, that may be an exception. But otherwise, know your product, know your customer, know your turf, know how to create a process that will bring in profits on a consistent basis, and how to control your losses, because losses are an inevitability. And I would also add here that there is a great requirement for developing a new kind of mindset. And that new kind of mindset is towards losses. You have to understand that the trading investing business, I'm not talking about the amount you will invest, that's a different thing. You're creating an asset in investment. In trading, you're not having any kind of working capital, nothing. You don't have any costs to trading. You don't have any kind of expense related to trading. So the expense is there for every business, and in trading, the expense is the loss. So you need to develop a new mindset which says that loss is the cost of doing this business. So if in your business you are raking up a lot of losses, it is equivalent of having too high expenses in a business, and any business where the expenses are too large is not going to work. So if you rejig your mind to think of losses as a cost of doing this trading business, I think you'll have a sea change in the way that you look at everything. And then, therefore, controlling the losses will become a natural outflow of that kind of thinking. And then, as the cliche goes, if you take care of your losses, the profits will take care of themselves.
That's very true, sir. Now, coming down to NeoTrader itself, now it has been your brainchild, and you took us through so much of your market experience. So, what gap in the market did you really aim to fill with NeoTrader? And what were some of the philosophies that guided its creation? Also, you've been an educator. What part of it has really gone into the making of NeoTrader?
See, it's a question of looking at the environment in which you're functioning, right? So the market was kind of a closed country club back in the 70s, 80s, 90s. And then the institutions came in and it changed its character. Then the FIs came in, it changed its character. Then the online trading changed its character. But the biggest change is information asymmetry. That used to be the primary reason why people would make money in the past, because they had access to information which most other people did not. Then you had 24-hour television news channels, you had emails, WhatsApp, and everything coming in. And what this did at the core is destroy the asymmetry in information distribution. Suddenly, everybody was privy to all sorts of information, and that too could was at without making any kind of effort. It was kind of door delivered to you either at your desktop or in your mobile later on. So, with information asymmetry almost eliminated, the old way of working, which was through inside info, which was through buying and holding, and which was just showing up at the right time at the right place. I think all those went out of the window through the middle of 2010-20 area. Till that time, it worked okay. But somewhere in the middle, when technology started to almost pervade the whole market area, this ability to source information and have interpretations of that information also made available to you quickly. I think the advantage of those who had the information was almost completely lost. But then what really happened was that the technology thing was going at a furious pace. So when you combine these two things, another third element came in, and that third element was that all market cycles started to shrink. The old adage was like that, that Hero Honda ad which says that fill it, shut it, and forget it. That is how they used to talk about the mileage. And in the olden days, buying cars was all about what is the mileage. You remember the Maruti ad, kitni deti hai? That used to be the ad. That was the focus. So, but then once that completely changed, the cycles became all shorter. So when cycles become shorter, then speedier execution, speedier reaction, or much shortened reaction time was required. And this is where technology really enabled things. Somewhere around 2015-16, I was lucky enough to identify that this kind of shift is happening. So I started working on that, and that was the genesis for the creation of NeoTrader. That we need to find something where we can crunch the time, we can crunch the effort of analysis, getting hold of data, kind of massaging the data into some workable setup, and then coming to a quick conclusion. Because until you do all this and you don't conclude, you won't be able to act, because action is a function of the thought that precedes it. So you have to come to that thought very quickly as to what should I do with this particular information or particular change that I'm seeing. So this was happening with great deal of let's say rapidity. By the time you were going into 2016, 17, 18, and all that. So it took me about 3 years to develop NeoTrader from about 2015 to 2018, and I launched it somewhere around 2019 when the market was now a little more amenable to technology orientation. 2020 just changed the whole paradigm towards technology, and people who were not tech savvy were forced into tech savvy areas, and they were therefore more than willing to take to something like new trade, and that was what propelled me to make it more and more powerful in terms of features. So the origin is a change in the market. The origin is the destruction of information asymmetry. The origin was patterned along 24-hour business news channels and all the other modes of communication. So all of this contributed, along with the technological features which became available, more powerful computers, more throughputs to everything, internet availability, all of this contributed to creation of NeoTrader. And that's what is still happening even as of today.
Well, so it seems like everything came together really well. Now, one other aspect of any trading software is that, some are aimed at novices and some are aimed at professionals, right? Seasoned traders. How have you really positioned it or targeted it? Is it for novices? Is it for seasoned traders? Or can both use them? And can it simplify the trading process for both kinds of users?
Well, answer from the last part of your question, can it simplify? Answer is absolutely yes. And that is mainly because I have been a trader myself for all these years. For the past 40 years, I've been a very active trader of the market. So I know how traders think. I know how new people think. I know how seasoned people think, right? So that gave me a real good advantage of creating NeoTrader into, to put it simply, a section A and a section B. Now, section A I have designed for newbies. Now, what is the criteria of a newbie? They don't have any knowledge about how the market functions. They have a desire to make money, and they are in a tremendous amount of hurry to make money. Not having the knowledge prevents them from working smartly or intelligently or with by using whatever available information in the environment to their advantage. So they literally need to be spoon fed, to use a colloquialism. So there is part A of NeoTrader, which is virtually spoon feeding. It's called the ready-made trade section, where it doesn't call upon the user to exercise too much of his brain. He just looks at what trades are coming, and then the logic for the trade is there, which is explained in our webinars and all the other training programs, etc., that we do. It explained there, but in the software also it carries as to what is this trade and how does it germinate. So the newbie there just goes to that screen where all of this is present, looks at it, and an action plan is there ready for him. What is the stock to buy or to sell? Where does he buy or sell it? And what are the stop losses that he needs to put? And what are the targets that he can expect? Is there a trailing stop loss? Yes. Are there any re-entries? Yes. There are re-entries because NeoTrader tracks that stock all through the day from 9:15 till 3:30. So it is possible that on any given day, a stock might signal three times. First at 9:30, then at 11:30, and third one at 2:30. NeoTrader will catch them all and give you three sets of buy signals also. So it tracks the market in a way that a newbie needs. That I need to be told where is the action and what is the action, and that it does very commendably. Then there is a part B, which is actually the analyzed data part. Now, this is for the seasoned traders. Seasoned traders like to do things by themselves. They may love they may love the ready-made section, but they still want to have that satisfaction that I created this trade. I decided where to enter. I decide where to exit. I decide how much quantity to put in or how long I hold this trade. Because that is how they become seasoned. And after you become seasoned, the primary criteria that you exhibit is one of being in control of what you do rather than cede control to something else. So the newbie traders completely cede control to WhatsApp groups, to Telegram groups, to broker SMSs or what they hear on TV. They have zero control on what feed they shall receive. Whereas within the part B, where the seasoned trader can issue, I have designed multiple strategies, and it actually runs into some 35 pages of analysis, which is there contained within NeoTrader. And people can choose the kind of analysis type that they like, and then they can go to it and use that ready-made massage trades ready for consumption. So the second part, the first part you can say is like your Udupi hotel, go sit, order, eat, and get out. The part B is like going to a fine dine where you go sit, look at the atmosphere, enjoy the milieu, then take a look at the menu in detail, and then get some tips from the waiter there. And you say, this is good, that is good, or and then you think it over, you discuss it among people, and then after that you'll order and you'll be in control of the meal. So it's something like that. Part B is for seasoned traders, and that will give them the satisfaction of producing trades by themselves, investments by themselves, while being in control of the way they like to analyze the market. Because all the facilities for analysis and indeed a lot of ready-made analysis is also provided. So therefore, the answer is it's a product for newbies and it's a product for the seasoned guy. The more seasoned you are, the more technically savvy you are, the better you'll be able to use NeoTrader. But that does not mean that a newbie needs to know technical analysis or needs to be savvy. He can be a complete new, first day in the market, and he can probably start using this.
Great, sir. Now, at the same time, the market is also flooded with trading software. So, obviously, you've used a lot of experience in building NeoTrader. But what really do you think makes it stand out from this entire pack of trading software and where everybody's claiming to be great?
Well, today trading softwares have to be, kind of divided into two, three groups. The vast majority of them are execution software. What you would put into an algo, the algo just shaves off some seconds or microseconds or nanoseconds from your execution time. Now, when you're a very large player and you need to move large quantity in and out of the market quickly without losing out on every volume tick which happens, then you need to have recourse to execution algorithm. Then there are very, very minimal, very, very simplistic strategy algos. These are very small in number because a lot of people think that if I do X over Y moving average and they've done some 1 month back test or a 1 year back test, it may not really have provided for all the possibilities that exist uh, in the markets, which can bugger up your system. So there are a few strategy algos, but then when it goes into complexity of the algos, then they lose out. So here is where NeoTrader really comes in. It has simplified algos. It has got complex algos. It also gives you the massage data for you to construct algos of your own if you so wish to. But of course, you're going to take those algos and put it into an execution type algo and then keep on firing it. That is also possible. So there is another set of software which tells you, which is like a screener. Now you can think that screening is a part of NeoTrader, right? So it tells you where the action is. Most of the screeners which are available today in the market are just listers. They just give you a list, and that list is, let's say, 50 deep or 100 deep, depending upon the criteria that you have put in. Now, then, if you get 50 names, then you still are left in the same boat. You need to choose which of the 50 do I, actually get into. New trader goes several steps forward and brings it down to a very small handleable list where the probabilities are high because we have also programmed in, we have coded in all those probabilities. And that is 40, 45 years of my trading experience, which has all been converted into code and into strategies that takes new trader one step ahead of all the existing. So you can also execute through new trader because we have given API connections to brokers. So it creates the trades for you. It creates the data, massage data from which you can create the trade. And then it also acts as a screener if you want a big chunk and you can narrow it down because there are so many factors that are built into it. And plus, you also can execute it through the broker interface, which is also built. So that way, I think NeoTrader is a far more efficient and a far more versatile product in the market compared to so many other softwares.
Often the proof of the pudding lies in the eating, right? So, can you tell us about any particular success stories from users of new traders and how the response from the trading community has been?
Well, you see, ultimately, every trader investor is looking only for profits. And if you're, for example, say a trader, then what you really should be looking at is momentum because it is momentum which creates opportunities for a trade. Now, the momentum can emerge out of a news item. It can emerge out of a large trade block that is put in, or stuff like that, or some large money is being moved from into something or out of something. That is what creates momentum. So the key element in trading success is to catch momentum, and that is where new trader excels. Now, let me, if you just allow me to share the screen for today's example, right? Today in the market, we had a very decent up move, and one of the most traded elements is your bank nifty. Okay, so I have shared here the Neo Trader screen of Bank Nifty today using just one method among the many that are. So what you're seeing on the screen is Bank Nifty. To the left of it, you can see the symbol. This is one of the pages out of Neo Trader. I'm just using it to exemplify and answer your question. Now you can see that Bank Nifty today gave a buy signal. It's in green. When it is a sell signal, it'll be in red. So that simple color coding is applied. And here is the time when the trade was generated. It is at 10:15 and 14 seconds today morning. Right? You can see this 29.4 at 10:15 in the morning. So using something, I have a scoring setup and a certain rule related to this particular method, which is explained when you buy the software, etc. And that score came at 10:15. Now you can see that this every 5 minutes that signal got renewed 10 10:20, 25, and 10:35. So the first buy came in at 48,592. Okay. Now, you would have probably got it in and around that rate. These are spot rates, not future rates. And then by about 10:35, when the first set of momentum was captured, the Bank Nifty had moved by nearly about 180 points. Well, that's a pretty decent amount of move to capture for somebody who day trades the Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty active traders taking 20, 30 points, a little more leisurely taking about 50 points, and the more leisurely of them taking 100 points. So here is from 10:15 to 10:35 in a matter of 20 minutes, it has already given you about 150, 175 points. Now, the matters didn't end there. The software spotted continued momentum in Bank Nifty at 11:20, and that was at 48,834. Now you may crib that you made me sell at 48,778 and you're making me buy at 48,834. That is not the lookout. The lookout is what is the opportunity. And if you don't take advantage of the opportunity which comes up in the market several times during the day, you're going to be lost. So Bank Nifty traders keep going in and out all day. So that is why I chose Bank Nifty as an example. So it comes in at 11:45. And then look at the update, look at the scores going up. As long as the scores are going up 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, and all that, it continued. So it goes still higher 12 o'clock, 12:05, 12:10, 12:25. By that time, it has moved up another 100 points because we got it at 834 and now we are at 979. So by 12:25, a signal which you got at 11:20, so that's about 45 minutes, you have made another 100, 120 rupees today, or saying 150 rupees today. So that is the second trade which was worth, right? And then if you come and see now, it's kept going 12 up to 12:45, that momentum ran. Then the next momentum is captured at 13:25. So this is what I meant when I said that NeoTrader will never let up. If there is momentum, it will lock onto that like like a Tomahawk missile. It'll just lock in and then it will not let go. So then it starts, it tells you now there was a 49,070, and then it keeps going up 13:25, 30, 35, 35, 40, 45, 2, till 2 o'clock. It runs up to 49,388. You started from 49,070, and that's a 300 buck move. Right? So all of this is happening in the same day. Please understand, this is a 300 rupee move. And then it kicks back in again at 255 at 49,428 and takes you to 49,468. Okay, that's in the light of what has happened. 40 rupee move looks like a small pipsqueak. But then you got to understand that market today moved by nearly 1,000 points on the Bank Nifty. And NeoTrader managed to help you capture at least about 700 points out of that 1,000 points. What more can you ask for from a software? And it is not just restricted to Bank Nifty. This is for indices, for all the stock. Our universe is about 500 stocks of the NSE 500. It tracks all of them all through the day. It never tires. And that is the beauty of an algo. Algo never tires. And NeoTrader is an AI enabled, like it's not artificial, but it is human AI enabled. There is nothing manual in this. It's all completely tracked automatically and then put up on your UI. All the person needs is to be logged on to this particular screen. It may be a screen of your choice, which is this, or it could be any other method that we have, multiple methods. You will get into the right stock. NeoTrader will not miss most of the momentum moves. And if it doesn't miss the momentum moves, then your job is done as a trader.
Fabulous, sir. Now, the markets are constantly evolving. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the future. What are some of the upcoming features or expansions that users can look forward to when it comes to NeoTrader?
See, the markets are always evolving. So there is no way that a software product can be static. But having, being coded, it has no choice but to remain static. So therefore, it is our responsibility to keep up to date with whatever changes which are happening in the market. And therefore, constancy of R&D work in this is given. And I look after that myself because this is my baby and I understand it the best. So I know which features are working a bit less now or what is not working, what is the current market responding to. All these things I know because I still trade the markets actively from opening till close every single day, 5 days of the week, 30 days of the month, right? So I'm there with the pulse of the market, and therefore I keep making these changes. Now, our next version of NeoTrader is most likely to hit the stands by about June. Early June is when we have likely to hit the marketplace with the new version of this thing, NeoTrader. Where what I have done is being sensitive to a lot of feedbacks, because every day we also get feedbacks from the users. कि ये नहीं चल रहा है, वो नहीं चल रहा है, or this could be better if you did it this way and all that. So I take into account all those features, and then I try to add it whatever is feasible, because people sometimes come up with wild ideas which are not codable. See, coding has a certain amount of restriction. It's not a substitute for the human brain. Human brain can process sort of million things at one go, whereas the code is restricted by those lines. And I cannot write 10,000 lines of code, because then it will make the program so heavy that it will become sluggish and it won't be responsive to the quick changes that happens in the market. So I need to keep the lines also short. I need to keep it pithy and precise. And that creates difficulty of how many things can be actually added. But still, I am at the R&D end of this. Every day I keep looking at NeoTrader and keep changing things. So like I said, our next version of NeoTrader will be coming out in first week of June. And I think people will be happy with the changes that we are bringing to it. And those changes will keep going on. It's an ongoing thing. It's a work in progress forever.
Great to hear that. Now, finally, as we come to a close, what I wanted to ask you was again delving into your experience. Today, a lot of people are getting into the markets directly also. So, what advice from your rich experience would you offer to those watching this in terms of who are striving for financial empowerment through trading?
Well, let's look at it from this angle, that there are, three types of players largely. One is the novice, right, which we have discussed, and they rely largely on tips because they don't know any other way to do this. Now, people come into that stream first, particularly after 2020. A whole lot of people have entered in. The number of demat accounts we have been reading have gone up by so many crores. It was 8 crores and it has become 18 crores and all that. All of them have zero knowledge about the market, and all of them come and learn it the hard way. They drop money, they take a bath, they take a beating, and then some of them progress to learning, because they come to understand that I cannot be a tip based trader forever. That doesn't work. It's all a hit and miss. And when my stars are aligned in the sky, I make some money. At other points of time, I don't. And it's not a consistent way of making money. So all those who learn that, they gravitate towards some amount of learning. Now, what has happened post-COVID is also that this learning area has just exploded on YouTube. Now, earlier you could say, let us say there were 20 people imparting education on the YouTube, but today that 20 people has become some 20 lakh people. So there is just too much of material available on YouTube, and none of that is structured. So when you don't know how, you also don't know what structure to learn it in. Everybody goes to school, and progressively we go to standard 1 to standard 10, and then we go further, and then we join professional college. Everything is structured. So learning per se for human beings has to be imparted in a structured manner. So we have been cognizant of that. So for the people who are coming in, we have the tip area of NeoTrader. And then alongside that, we also tell them that you need to learn. And if you're of a mind, we provide free education. And you take that free education, know how to use the software better, and then make yourself better. And then it goes further from that, that some of the people from group number 2 now realize the advantage of being well trained in this market, because that is what leads to consistency. When you know what to do and you are able to develop the discipline to keep doing it for a constrained, consistent period of time, then that becomes the third group. And this third group is part of our complete education package. So in addition to NeoTrader, we also have an education vertical, which largely deals with the third set. Because for the first set, they are not interested in education, they are just interested in the bottom line. Some get it, some don't. Some of them make this progress. For them, we provide free education, hold out a helping hand to take them up the chain, the value chain, so to speak, in terms of knowledge. And then the rest who are willing to go the whole hog, we have pre-recorded stuff, we have live stuff, we have live market training, everything, all of this is available as a package. But the key element here is that learning is not difficult, right? Unlearning is very difficult. So unlearning also has to be taught, and it can be taught only by people who are experienced. Learning can be taught by professors, but professors are not doers. I'm not trying to be, you know, what is it, patronizing towards any set of people here, but the market is all about doing, right? So there is a need for certain amount of theory, there is a need for doing, and the doing is what really instills the education. Now, if you have to do, you must have the tool set and the means to do. And that is where NeoTrader comes in. Earlier, I was a big trainer from 1990 till about 2015. I was doing a lot of training. Now I've concentrated in giving you a tool which you can also use to implement. So when you have a tool to implement and you are being given knowledge, and the two together can be combined well, because we also provide being a mentor and guiding you along the way. So therefore, I think we are trying to give here a full package of what a person needs to become a professional trader and investor. Otherwise, there are fly-by-night guys. They come and then they go. For them, it is a pastime. Can't help them too much, but we try. It's for people to pick it up.
Well, on that note, sir, thank you so much for the time you've spent with us today. Thank you for taking us to the evolution of the market, NeoTrader. What makes NeoTrader unique? What are some of the features you plan to bring? And also, very importantly, for the advice that you shared with the audience. Thank you for your time and wish you all the best with NeoTrader and in your mission.
Thank you very much for having me here and giving me this opportunity to explain in detail of what we are trying to do. We are trying to be a good service provider, a multi-area service provider, a multi-level service provider. I think markets are easy to do, but difficult to sustain your earning. Without good guidance and without good tools, it becomes a difficult job. And a lot of people give up when there is no need to. Help is available from all over, but help of a consistent nature is what you need to seek. And if you are looking for that, NeoTrader is a place to be. Thank you very much once again for this opportunity.
Thank you, sir.